Funding for Fair 2022 is brought to you by Friends, the Iowa PBS Foundation, and by...
For more than 110 years, EMC Insurance Companies has served policyholders, independent agents, and local communities, providing insurance products for both business and life. Count on EMC.
I am Kevin Rasmussen, and I am a pig farmer. We feel a deep responsibility to protect our environment and ensure sustainability. I think it's important to share our story and that others know that we're always striving to do better.
I'm Bill Riley, and welcome back to our third night of Iowa State Fair highlights. You know, one of the things that really impresses me about the Iowa State Fair is how much hard work people are willing to put into something that they love, whether it's caring for animals, preserving history, or making art. Fairgoers are always trying to do things better. Now, coming up in tonight's show, that spirit of hard work and dedication, it's on display with the FFA Parade of Champions. We'll learn more about the antique farm machinery, and we'll see what butter cow sculptor Sarah Pratt has whipped up for 2022. But first, let's start our coverage tonight with a long-standing tradition at the Iowa State Fair. It's an exhibit of showmanship, horsemanship, and fellowship. It's the Cowgirl Queen contest.
Up to the day, and then once I got in the arena, I just kind of calmed down and I was like, well, let's just do this and show everybody how I do it.
Getting ready for this is unlike anything else. You can practice all day at home, then once you're out there, with the energy and the crowd and the noise. Once you go in and feel very confident in your ability and your preparation, it's so exciting. It's such a fun experience.
We have approximately 120 girls, 60 juniors, 60 seniors. There'll be 3 judges. And tonight we will crown a junior queen and her 4 attendants, a senior queen and her 4 attendants.
I will be judging the Cowgirl Queen contest tonight, and this contest is special and dear to my heart. I grew up showing in it myself in both the junior and senior division. I'll look for that young lady who has that confidence, she's got that smile, she's got that good riding ability, that rider who can utilize their 4 natural aids to their seat and their legs and their hands and their voice and communicate in unison with their horse.
Training for the Cowgirl Queen contest has helped me grow as a rider and helped me learn my horse better, so we're able to work as a team more. And it also helped me learn different training styles, mental training, physical training that goes into this. That applies to a lot of other areas of my life. I'm now able to keep working and keep learning at everything that I love to do. So my advice for the salute is just make sure you are all ready for it. You are all good to go. You're not gonna freak out when you go super fast and have to do a sliding stop. And just make sure you're nice and relaxed. If you're super tense, your horse is gonna feel that, and that's never good.
Oh, I don't know. I've been trying to win this competition for almost 7 years, ever since I was a little girl, and I could compete in the competition. So this was definitely a very big achievement for me, and especially with this horse. I've had her since I was 8 years old. She's definitely the horse that I would want to win it with if I could win it with any horse. So June of this year, I actually had a horse accident and broke my pelvis. As soon as I could ride, I was just back on competing, and this is my second show back, and I really just wanted to prove a point that you can overcome anything, and I couldn't be happier.
All of these young ladies, obviously, by the time they get here, they're very well experienced in the horse industry. They're fine riders in their own right, and they can be very proud of what they do.
The Cowgirl Queen contest really affords these kids an opportunity to work toward a goal. The confidence building that this competition provides for these girls is amazing.
Growing up with the Cowgirl Queen contest, I remember this as a family event. And I remember how nice that was with my family being there and my friends and all the support, and just what a great community of horse industry people all coming together for one big event. One big, special event that we had that one time of a year, and how we always look forward to it every year, going to the Iowa State Fair and being at the Cowgirl Queen contest.
My advice for handling the energy and the excitement would be to truly trust in your training. There's no need to go in and change anything about how you're riding. How you've practiced is perfect. It will be what it needs to be. And it's important to go in with confidence, yet not be cocky, and take it all in. It's not about winning, it's about getting to go and compete in this competition. My best advice for doing the Cowgirl Queen salute is to make a plan and not just make a decision on the fly. It's best to have it planned out and know what's best for your horse and what will show off you and the horse's abilities best.
This is my first year ever doing this, and we won it, and I can't believe it. I have always dreamed of doing something like this, and it's absolutely a dream come true to be able to make it here and win it. I never thought that this could happen, and it did. Honestly, I'm never going to not try something. Anything is absolutely possible, and I can't wait to see what the future brings.
In tonight's fair flashback, we're talking about the butter cow. Norma Lyon, better known as Duffy, was the fourth person and the first woman to sculpt the butter cow at the Iowa State Fair. Starting in 1960, she sculpted a dairy cow and a companion sculpture every year until she retired in 2006.
An unsung artist, the sculptor of the State Fair's butter cow, Duffy Lyon from Toledo, Iowa.
It's a lot of fun to look back at some of her creations.
The heads are the hardest for me to do, and to get that eye just right is real painstaking, and I have to go outside and see what it looks like, because when you're in here and right on top of her, you can't tell exactly how she looks until you go outside and get away from her at a distance.
Duffy, I want to ask you about how you got started making butter sculpture.
Well, it wasn't very nice. I saw a picture of the interim guy that did it before the original guy did, and apparently he had passed away. I didn't know anything about it, and he had done it for 2 years anyway, maybe 3, and I happened to see a photograph, and I just said, I can do better than that.
This is probably the most complicated thing I made. I'm trying to do the best I can. I'll find all kinds of stuff wrong with it when I get away from here and see pictures. I like doing this. Not for show-off reasons, I just like to do it. And if people enjoy it, that's fun for them.
Mrs. Lyon, I think you have a butter hobby than most of us.
Thank you.
This summer, the fair had an opportunity to preserve her legacy by installing some of her work in a way that, well, is a little more permanent than butter.
We're a bronze casting art foundry, so we make bronze statues and things like that. And this was a fiberglass statue that Norma Duffy Lyons made and was I guess she made it in clay originally, I suppose, and then somebody replicated it in fiberglass. And when the derecho went through, it was right next to an oak tree, and parts of the oak tree blew off and smashed the fiberglass up pretty badly. So they brought it over to us to repair the fiberglass, and they wanted something that would be a little more durable, that would be derecho proof.
One casting was made to replace the original in Duffy's hometown of Toledo, Iowa. Another one is on display at Iowa State University's College of Veterinary Medicine, and before the mold was destroyed, a third was created to reside in front of the agriculture building on the Iowa State Fairground.
As a young man, child, you know, we'd stand in line for an hour or two to see the butter cow. So it's been a part of my family, a part of our lives since we were, knew what we were doing at the fair. So besides cotton candy and corn dogs, it was go see the butter cow. Clearly, it was a beautiful tribute to the history of the butter cow at the fair and the dairy industry and agriculture in general in Iowa. So it's gorgeous.
76 trombones may lead the big parade, but can you fit 76 butter creations into the butter cooler? We'll find out. We'll also see what is special about this year's creation and how the theme inside the cooler here has very strong Iowa ties.
This is a really special year because my apprentices, Hannah and Grace, my twins, are going off to college in just a week and a half. So it feels like a culmination in a shift into a new time.
And you just took the twins and a couple of other folks on an airplane ride, and that's all part of the big sculpture, which we'll get to in a minute. But what was it like to take the butter cow message to New York City?
It was amazing. It was so fun. We got to go to Broadway, see the Broadway show, and of course we got to see an Iowan in action, and we did take him a plushie butter cow. We're busy at work sculpting Meredith Willson's The Music Man, and it's the 60th anniversary of the movie that I grew up watching, and so it's been on my list for some time, because Meredith Willson, an Iowan legend, and the movie and the musical, iconic, right? After going to the Broadway show last week, we were just jazzed about this new cast. There's 22 Broadway debuts happening. One of them is Drew Minard, the star that we got to meet, that's from Iowa, along with lots and lots of the children that are in the show. So I just feel like in our own excitement, we're gonna maybe lean more on the cast, the current cast.
You always have things in mind, you always have things written down, but I'm picking up from you that you kind of were sitting there watching the show going, what if?
Absolutely.
That happened.
Yes. We had pretty much the marching band scene laid out and underway, and I wanted to get a dance scene with the two main characters. And yet, the moment that Winthrop gets his coronet from Professor Hill, and you see Marion's face, and the entire play shifts. The entire, Marion's feelings, Winthrop, everything. Winthrop just lights up and reanimates at that point of the musical, and so that's really the turning point. And it was emotional for me, and so it's like, okay, scrap the dance scene. This is going to be it.
You were a big-time Broadway producer at that point. Cut the dance scene. We're bringing in the trumpet, right? That's how it sounds to me.
It was. I mean, there's so many iconic scenes, so it was really hard. It took me a long time to boil down what touched me about the movie and the musical, and what hopefully touches other people, and what it really was representing. So I hope that shows through for people who come and see it.
Behind you is another sculpture. You can't forget the other anniversary that's happening.
That's right. It's the 100th year of the Ye Olde Mill. Like, who doesn't go in the Ye Olde Mill every year? We have the cow and the mill on this side, honoring the fair, if you will. And then, of course, the Music Man.
Okay, everyone, tonight's trivia is another Where at the Fair. Take a look at this photo and see if you remember where this handsome critter lives. Is it outside the Animal Learning Center? Grandfather's barn? Was it in the fun forest or at the Mountain Man camp? We'll bring you the answer a little later in the show. But right now, it's time for some air conditioning. We're gonna head over to the Cultural Building, where the judges, man, they had some difficult decisions because there was so much awesome art.
The Fine Art Show is where Iowans get to come together and think about a little bit more than corn, beans, and cattle, right? We're here to see the talents of the people who live in this state, celebrate those, and just see something that you might not see every day. There are some things that are super technical that are done completely perfect, and then there are things that somebody has looked at a subject such as a barn and then taken that and moved it into something that's almost mathematical, right? There's geometry there, there's color theory there. They're doing things that the normal person, when looking at a barn, wouldn't do.
I've worked in different art fields throughout my life, so I know a lot of local artists. Des Moines has a great art community, but this is all of Iowa, so it's even better. We started out online, judging individually each piece, so this is the first time I've seen them in person. I'm kind of blown away by some of them because they're small on the screen, but some of them are really big here.
You never get the full experience from a picture. Art is to be experienced, and you need to be in front of it. The judges, we're all just kind of talking through pieces, what draws us in, what we like about something, what's maybe off-putting a little bit. You know, technical talent versus feelings, because a lot of art is feeling.
The details in this particular piece, it's that sunburst that draws the eye. I'm seeing a bunch of impressive work from Iowans all across the state, which is pretty exciting. From paintings to drawings to fiber works. Essentially, I like to dabble when it comes to my creative practice, and to be able to see the state as diversified in its artistic mediums is really powerful.
The fair really celebrates everything about Iowa, and Iowa is home to a bevy of super talented, super creative people.
It's never an easy choice. This is all fun. That's what's really great. It's this isn't a critique. Ideally, you find stuff that you know and you love, but you also find things that you didn't expect. We're trying to have fun, and this is part of it.
I found it really important to leave comments for the youth, just to encourage them to keep creating, and even if they didn't get in, keep going, practice, and there's always, room to learn.
It's a wonderful place to just take a nice little break. It's a little quieter up in this building. We've got 3 floors of exhibits. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful central place to kind of meet people. I'm going to meet you at the top of the hill, the Cultural Building. Let's go check out the art and then go down through the fair from there. It's a great way to view the fair.
We are here for the FFA Parade of Champions. It's inside the Livestock Pavilion. This is a moment for these students and their hard work to shine. And there were a lot of entries this year, about 2,000 participants entering 8,000 projects.
Winners in the Ag Mechanics and Technology Division are leading off the parade. This year, there were 86 exhibits shown by 70 members from 35 chapters. Judges looked at 794 photos brought to the fair by 285 photographers from 67 chapters. In the Farm Crops Division, 62 students from 19 chapters brought 332 exhibits to the fair for judging. In the Horticulture Show, there were 710 exhibits shown by 80 members from 26 chapters. In the Floriculture Division, 43 exhibitors from 15 Iowa FFA chapters brought 623 flower displays to the Iowa State Fair. Across the state, there are more than 18,600 Iowa FFA members. "45 students from 31 chapters brought 250 exhibits to the Rabbit Show, and here are some of the winners. In the Poultry Division, 37 FFA members from 20 chapters brought 305 exhibits for judging. This is the 44th year for the Avenue of Breeds. Students from the North Polk FFA chapter at Alleman take care of the more than 65 animals during the run of the fair. There were 968 head of hogs judged in the Swine Division. In just the Market Swine Division alone, 287 students brought 568 animals for judging. In the Sheep Show, there were 593 head competing in 4 divisions. There were 271 head of cattle shown at the 2022 Iowa State Fair. In the Breeding Beef Show for this division, 188 animals were exhibited by 139 members from 85 chapters. We caught up with this year's Iowa FFA president, Sam Martin.
A lot of people see, here at the fair, if you're not involved with agriculture as much, you see the end product, right? But sometimes you don't see those early mornings and late nights spent in the barn or out in the field that get these projects to this point. Tonight's event is really showcasing all the hard work that has happened this week, but really in all the months previous to this. And now these students get to show off their projects in the pavilion, and it's really, really neat experience for them. It's neat for me as a state officer to see all of the work that has been put into these projects for these students now that they can display to the general public.
Judges for the Dairy Cattle Division looked over 59 animals shown by 16 exhibitors from 14 chapters. And the final unit in the parade has just a few of the students who received top honors in the horse division. This year, 84 members brought 122 horses from 55 chapters to the 2022 Iowa State Fair.
I got to tell you, I'm in heaven. I'm up by Pioneer Hall. It's a beautiful morning here at the Iowa State Fair, and I wanted to come see the antique farm machinery display, and I'm thrilled to be standing here with the man himself, Jack Smith. You're going to give us a little guided tour of these magnificent pieces of history.
We've been up here on the hill for 25 years plus. Most of the machinery that you're going to see is 100 years old. We're really preservationists. We try to find machinery in its work clothes. People are amazed that it runs at all. And trying to explain to them what it did. You know, it pumped water, it carried the ground feed. You had to do that by hand before that.
One thing that I know you try to continue is getting the young minds engaged in the technology that they're observing here. And you've got a section down here that is pretty much dedicated to the young folks, and it's almost a hands-on area.
That is correct. Even the little guys can go down there and run a hand corn grinder to see what it does. There's corn shellers that used to have to do that by hand. The corn shellers were literally a miracle of their time.
Yes.
You could do them, they had a crank, or you could hook them up to the engine, either one. But the little guys really get into that. We always try and give them a corn cob or two to take home.
So now we come to this beauty.
Now we come to this. This
more
was,
technology.
Yeah, more technology. A miracle for those processing corn. These guys here, you had a handle on the outside, and you've got a pulley on the inside. Now, if you were lucky, you had a little brother, and you'd get him to turn that crank just as fast as he possibly could.
Oh my goodness.
Get the inertia on that flywheel, and you'd throw the corn in there, and it would grind it just that fast.
We're continuing our tour through history, and we're standing here watching a water pump. If you didn't have a machine back in the day, you were doing this by hand. Is that correct?
That is correct. If you had 10, 20, 30 head of cattle and some chickens, you were going to use that well pump lever that isn't there right now. You were going to fill that bucket 30 or 40 times or more and then carry it to wherever the livestock were, because they're not where the well is. Or you get one of these guys, you can pump all the water you want in just a few minutes.
Well, Jack, I want to get over here and look at these beauties and listen to them run. Don, you got to fire up the smallest Harley Davidson V I've ever seen. Now, if that were on a bike, that probably would fit me, be about my size. Jack, thank you so much for this beautiful run through agricultural history, state of Iowa. I'm Bill Riley, and I am having fun at the Iowa State Fair. It takes a little courage to put yourself out there and enter a contest at the Iowa State Fair. Here are some fairgoers who went for it and won. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll have a feast for the senses in store for you. We'll see how sheep's wool becomes yarn, We'll hear some fantastic fiddling. And Travis Graven, he's going to taste some of this year's new fair foods. It's going to be a real treat. So come right back for more Iowa State Fair fun on Iowa PBS. Here's a look at the acts advancing after today's talent competition at the Riley stage. Be sure to tune in for the Talent Championships here on Iowa PBS, Sunday, August 21st at 8 p.m. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Bill Riley. Showing livestock is one of the great traditions here at the Iowa State Fair. And the 4-H program and the young people who participate, they really devote themselves to these projects. Let's head over to the sheep barn to see the results of their hard work.
Housed in the sheep barn on the Iowa State Fairgrounds, the 4-H Market Lamb Show was in full swing this year. 4-H kids from all across Iowa submitted their sheep for consideration, each hoping to come away with the title of Grand Champion. Jordan Ambergy from Mount Sterling, Kentucky, was this year's sheep show judge.
So no, I've been around sheep all my life. It's my career, it's my passion. Work with small ruminants daily, got sheep at home, so it's just something that at this point in my life, it's what it's all about. You know, I think sheep are unique because, you know, sheep and goats, I should say, because we actually get to put our hands on them and evaluate their muscle and carcass traits. Whereas pigs, it's all on emotion, and cattle, we really don't emphasize that up to a high degree. So I think sheep, you know, if your hands meet your eyes, you can judge a lot just in terms of what you actually feel with your hands. I like the elite ones. I like the ones that internally make me smile. And I guess what those look like are the ones that just have that presence that look like a champion. They come out and they know they're good, but still they're basic in terms of having some muscle, having some carcass merit about them, but still, most importantly, they're sound and athletic. And ultimately, we got to take a picture at the end of the day, so they got to look like a champion. Once I establish that they have enough muscle or they don't, then we can start basing things on, you know, the quality, the aesthetics, their build, their skeleton, and combine that with the proper muscle organization to find those elite ones that are your blue ribbon winners. Aesthetically, everybody's different. I like them built as flawless as possible. I like to watch their feet and legs motor in the right way. I like them tall-shouldered. I like them round-bodied. I like them shallow-chested, neat-shouldered. And once we put all those little, elite, unique things in one package, at the end of the day, that's what my champion's going to look like.
The competition was stiff, as the show saw 492 entries across 22 classes. The top 2 selections from each class advanced to the finals.
What I love most about judging is, I know it's kind of cliche to say, but working with the kids is awesome. And I hope it's a good experience for them, because what I've seen when I was showing many moons ago is the numbers of kids are dwindling, it seems like. So I just try to make it a positive experience for all these kids to bring them back next year and increase our numbers and increase agricultural awareness. The most difficult part about judging is there can only be one winner. And when you get these challenging and competitive state and national shows like the Iowa State Fair, there's going to be 15 that deserve to be at the backdrop later today. but ultimately I can only slap one my champion. So that's the difficult part, is just people understanding that, hey, I might like 15 or 20 of these things, but landing on one sometimes a challenge.
The Grand Champion Market Lamb Award for 2022 went to Sam Schmillen from Marcus. Congrats to Sam and all the runner-ups.
There's always a lot of anticipation for a great number of things leading up to the Iowa State Fair. 4-H shows, vegetable contests, the photography exhibit. But in mid-July, the excitement is almost palpable for the official reveal of the top 10 foods for 2022. And somehow, my producers gave me, Travis Graven, the honor of sampling, tasting, and judging this year's entrants. I don't think I can wait any longer.
Welcome to the Iowa State Fair New Foods Competition for 2022. Our surveys tell us that more people come for the food at the Iowa State Fair than any other one reason.
It's kind of hard to come up with something that's new and different that hasn't already been done.
It definitely is the case. And you can only put so many things on the stick. I know, and then, there's dozens of new foods every year, and this year is no different. So, yeah, you might as well come out to the Iowa State Fair. They don't even pay me to say this, but come out to the Iowa State Fair. It's a fun time.
And what's going to happen here is these fine people are going to send one person from their team up to one of these nice round tables, and they're going to taste one of the 10 new foods on display for today. The top 3 scoring foods are going to then be up to your vote when you come to the fair to win the People's Choice Award. You know what we're going to do now? We're going to eat.
While we bring up the Minty Moo parfait, we have the American Dairy Association. What's your name?
You're going right for that marshmallow, I see.
I'm lactose intolerant, and I'd still buy this.
Let's do this awkward thing where we watch you take a bite. Go ahead.
This is a good bite of food.
Yeah.
It's got some kick to it, but it takes a moment to kick in. But that's good. If you like a little spice, between the chorizo, pepper jack cheese, thumbs up. This has really good presentation.
Yes. It is privilege. Yes. What's going on? I'm one of those different ones.
That's elevated state fair food.
I've never even heard about it until now.
I have no idea what number we're on right now, but I'm starting to feel a little bit full. That's not going to stop me though. And this is pork picnic in a cup, which is a little bit of everything. I'm a sucker for pulled pork.
So you're getting some vegetables. It's the OMG chicken sandwich.
That's a lot of calories.
A pickled cucumber is called a pickle, and everything else is pickled.
We're on item number 9 of 10.
And we have a giant piece of food coming. Come on over here.
It's hard to know how to pace yourself on those first couple items because you know you have to eat 10 different things, and then number 10 is this. This is not your grandma's state fair food here. Thankfully, a few weeks to go to the state fair, and I can do this all over again.
Why did you guys decide you wanted?
Hi, I'm Dana Lane. Sheep shearing takes mere minutes, but what comes after? Now that takes time. Let's talk to some folks while they spin and knit here in the sheep barn.
We start out by spinning wool on the spinning wheel. Then that turns it into yarn. two-ply yarn, and then next year that yarn will go to the knitters and they will knit hats with it.
How did you get into spinning?
Thank you. I've just always been curious about it, and I was at the we call it Fiberpalooza, and it's hosted by the yarn store down in Winterstedt, and there were people there spinning and weaving, and so I just asked them about it and started going to the guild meetings. And
I just love it. I learned to knit from an aunt when I was a teenager, and I've been doing it ever since. I do love making mittens, and that's why I choose, and I love the idea of keeping a little one's hands warm during the winter.
It is meditative when you get the feel of it, and you just know when to let it go and just kind of concentrate on the different colors going through. And
it's actually a 50th anniversary soft cherry ladybug, but just like model cars, there's different types of models of spinning wheels.
I did not know that. And did you get it as a present?
Yes, I got it as a present from my mother when I graduated from Iowa State last year, actually.
Every year we come out here with the spinners and weavers they spin up the yarn, and then we use last year's yarn to knit hats for charity. And then just seeing people wander through and it catches their eye, they get interested, and maybe some of them might learn.
I just love being here. And today it's nice and cool. It gets noisy at times because the sheep are over there in the ring eventually, and we'll hear a lot from them. But it's just a great day here at the fair for me personally.
Tonight's trivia question asked, where at the fair would you find this statue? Is it outside the Animal Learning Center? At Grandfather's Barn? Was it up in the Fun Forest? Or at the Mountain Man Camp? It's actually in the Fun Forest, and the Fun Forest was completed in 1999. It's dedicated to exploration and play and entertainment for our youngest fairgoers. If you haven't been there, it's a great place to take a break with the young ones. Our next segment takes us to Pioneer Hall and introduces us to some very talented musicians. It's the Fiddling Contest.
This song has to do with a steam engine. Steam whistles, nice pretty sound. But now we got these diesels. Makes it hard for a fiddle player to imitate a diesel. Something like that anyway, but that's about as close as we can get. My grandfather kind of got me started when I was 12 years old. I started coming to the contest to compete in 1976. I've been involved one way or another all those years.
My family's always had a history with playing fiddle. My great-great-grandfather, which I carry his fiddle now, used to play. My cousin played up until he passed and when he turned 100, and ever since then I've learned everything I could from everybody around here. I've been playing for 15 years, and I'm 27 now, so it's been a while. That's one of the things that I really like about playing fiddle is that you can sit there and take this tune that you have learned from somebody else and take bits and pieces from everybody else and make it your own. That is one of the biggest things about fiddle playing.
We love to listen to the variety of music that they play. They are required to do a waltz and some type of hoedown, then a song of their choice. But we're listening for intonation, we're looking for technique, and then we're also just looking to, how well do they play and get the audience engaged. That way, it really makes the music come alive and sing. How fiddle music really originated, it was folk dance and getting people involved, and so your goal was to get people on the dance floor and then keep them there. So you really want to have people, tapping their toes and clapping along. So if you get them to do that while you're performing, then you know you got a winner.
And the 2022 Grand Champion Fiddler from Des Moines, Iowa, David Belaganti.
I'm going to officially retire from competition. So thank you very much.
Everybody really respects everybody around here. We love each other. We all try to do our best and raise each other up to be better fiddle players.
Whether it's a diesel or a steam engine, they both have to put on the brakes.
Tell us the primary purpose of what's going on here today.
So the whole purpose of the Animal Learning Center is really just to expose the general public to animal agriculture. And a lot of kids these days don't get to experience life on a farm. From chicks hatching to a cow calving, they really can see all depths of animals giving birth, and it's really fun because you not only get the educational aspect, but you get these cute little guys for the public to see.
Yeah, I really like holding the chicks because I get to show my brothers, and this is their first state fair. So I think it's kind of cool that they can see all the animals and people and stuff.
What is the most exciting thing that's happened this year so far in the Animal Learning Center?
I would say just in general the birth. We've had a lot of lambs going these last couple days, so we've had a lot of lambs born. And then when you get two sows fairing at once, I think it's a lot of action too, because you're looking at 15 to 17 piglets coming out. So it's a lot going on.
Can you tell me what you thought of that little baby pig?
What do you think?
Okay, I have one other question. I just want to know, was the baby piggy soft?
Yeah?
I think he fell off on you.
I think he kind of chewed it off. Yep.
Have you done any chores yet? Did you get to milk a cow?
We moved some chickies into the incubator over there, and we collected eggs.
Pork producers do a great job of showing what a gestation crate versus a farrowing stall is. You get people that get to see cows, calving and how natural a process that is. It's really, really cool, and I'm excited to show the public this every day of the fair.
If you can't make it to the fair this year, or if you just need another taste of that Iowa State Fair magic, here's a chance to feel as if you were there at the fair. Well, my friends, we've come to the end of another hour of fair highlights, but there's so much more. We have 3 more nights of coverage coming your way, but if you can't wait until tomorrow night, make sure you check out our website as well as our YouTube channel, our Facebook and Instagram pages. They're loaded with State Fair fun. There are so many ways that you can engage with us and our beloved Iowa State Fair anytime and anywhere. Here's what to look forward to tomorrow night. Charity Nebby breaking it down at Pioneer Hall. And the men who are passionate in their pursuit of fine facial hair. And that symbol of love and comfort, that ultimate Iowa dessert, yep, I'm talking about a big piece of pie. Hey everybody, thank you so much for sharing our journey across the great Iowa State Fair. It's an honor to be here with you. Until tomorrow night, I'm Bill Riley, and remember, have fun at the fair.
Funding for Fair 2022 is brought to you by Friends, the Iowa PBS Foundation, and by...
For more than 110 years, EMC Insurance Companies has served policyholders, independent agents, and local communities, providing insurance products for both business and life. Count on EMC.
Caring for pigs is not just an individual job. It truly does take a village to put a safe, healthy food on your table and keep farming sustainable.